Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, go and get our next guest. Quick sticks, because he is someone absolutely gorgeous. This is a man that we've all seen over the years and grown to, in a funny kind of way, hate, especially if you're a Take the High Road fan. Will you please welcome Sneddon himself, Derek Lord. Oh, Derek,
nice to see you again.
Lovely to see you. Quick, sit in my poof. There you go.
No.
Sit. Oh, lovely to see you. It's so nice to have a real star.
Oh, thank you very much.
On the show. Now, of course, anyone watching this, I mean, it's mainly the High Road. That's been your main thing.
For the last 16 years, yes.
So you've been there since it started?
No, it's been running for 3 years when I came on board.
Right. And I can remember whenever you first started, because whenever you've always been a nasty piece of work, really.
Yeah. Well, they just wanted a baddie when I came into it first, and then after a couple of years, it kind of boring just being bad all the time. So I started to try and put a wee bit of comedy into it, you know, give myself a couple of good punchlines, which didn't sit too well with some of the other cast members sometimes, but. You know. But it's a jungle out there, baby.
There is that. But of course, Derek, there was a story at one point, now correct me if I'm wrong with this, but in the High Road, at one point they were actually, because you were so hated, if you like, as the character, you know, the producers or directors, whatever, were going to actually write you out at one point.
Yes, well, what they did was they carried out one of these street polls. And they'd stop people in the street and say, do you want to take a High Road, as it was known in those days? And if somebody said, yes, I do, they had a list of all the characters. Right. Starting out with Dougal, and they said, do you like Dougal? And they say, aye, he's funny. Do you like Dougal's mum? Yeah, she's a nice old lady. And then they get down to me and say, do you like Davy Sneddon? No, he's a rotten swine. I can't stand him. So, and there was somebody else in it was beating his wife at the time, and somebody else was a newspaper editor that nobody liked. So anybody that the public said they didn't like just got sacked. Just were all called in one day and said, right, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. What I didn't realise was that the punters like to have somebody in it that they can't stand. You know, there's no point in having everybody.
So did they sack you?
They actually did, and thanks to the folk out there.
Give yourselves a round of applause, audience. Come on, it's thanks to you.
Well, suddenly their station was, you know, there were bags the size of mail come in and saying, you know, bring back the rotten swine, you know, so we can throw things at the screen. And a couple of weeks later, one of the associate producer came down to my door and said, would you please come back? So I said, well, I'll think about it, you know. So
did you say I want more money?
No, I didn't say that, but he did. At the time, I was doing about maybe 1 in every 3 episodes, and when I came back in, I was doing like 9 out of 10. Right. So slight improvement in the financial side of it. Yeah.
Superb. Yeah. And it's a bit of an exclusive on the programme this evening, because we're seeing you with this. Look at this.
Look at that. Look at that.
Can I touch it?
Yes, Susie Wang Bang wants to touch you.
David Beckham, eat your heart out. I actually had this done a day before his.
Right, so why have you done this?
Well, poor Davy Sneddon ran himself over with his own tractor. You won't see that for about a year yet, because we've got all that stuff in the can. But and I got a phone call the other day from the makeup department saying, we decided that you went in for an operation for a brain transplant or something, and they had to shave your head. Right. So this is me.
After the transplant?
This is me after the transplant.
Goodness, that's amazing. But he looks quite attractive. He looks younger with it, don't you think? Don't you think he looks younger with his hair? Like
well, I don't mind it. My wife hates it. I'm in a spare room at the moment.
So, I mean, obviously you've been doing this for years, but it's not just the High Road that you've been doing. What other projects have you done?
What? So, well, I mean, I can get away and do odd things. I do a bit of theatre. I do the pantomime. I've done the last 2 Christmases at the Pavilion with the Crankies.
That's the Pantos.
Yeah. So you know, that's 3 months working a year, isn't it? You know.
And it's funny because you and I, Derek, we've worked together.
We have indeed.
In the Pantos.
Yes.
And we've got a bit of footage here. Susie Wang Bang was a friend. This is going back 9 years. It's a long time. Yeah. Susie Wang Bang was in the audience, everyone, and she actually filmed from her seat in the auditorium a bit of the pantomime. You've probably not seen this. Have you seen the show we did?
No.
We've got a bit of a clip of it here, and we're going to let you see it. Now, there's you and me.
Indeed, the sir.
Yep. Now, what I'd like to ask you there, Derek, is while you're on top of me pounding up and down like that, what were you thinking?
Well,
I know what I was thinking.
it's not a sin unless you take pleasure out of it.
But that was us in pantomime. That was what, Babes in the Wood?
Aye. Where was that? At the
Robert Arts Centre.
That's where it
Stirling.
was. In Stirling, aye.
Great show.
Yeah.
Because that was my first ever panto.
Yeah, yeah.
And my last.
It showed. No, I don't mean that. You
Don't
were
be
brilliant.
cruel, please.
The pantomime world lost a great star when you
When
you came to Lanarkshire Television, yes.
That's right.
Your striped suits and all.
But then that was 9 years later.
Yes.
You know, for 9 years they haven't asked me back to another pantomime.
I wonder
Yeah,
why.
I got a good review on the stage. Can you remember that?
Well, to say that.
Uh,
Well, I won't say what to say about reviews on the stage.
In fact, I don't know if do we have any still photographs of the pantomime? Right, well, we're going to have some there. There's some there from the Stirling Observer.
Oh, indeed.
And there's me. Oh, there's you, and I'm behind you, looking rather furtive.
Had a lovely costume, hadn't I?
You don't look very happy at that picture. And there's some more. Do you see me, my wee leggies? Look at my wee tights on the right-hand side of your picture.
You're absolutely gorgeous, John. You haven't aged a bit.
No, I still look young and beautiful. And Derek, of course, there's someone else there from the High Road, Caroline Ashley. She was Fiona.
Aye.
What's she
aye.
doing now? Because she seemed to totally disappear off
I
the...
think she's given up acting.
Right.
And I said to her at the time, when we were doing that pantomime, I had a chat with her one night, and I said, you know, you want to get a wee bit more energy into your performance, or you're going to get tossed. And she didn't believe me, and 6 weeks later, she was tossed.
There's nothing like being tossed, is there?
You know more about that than me.
Caroline Ashley, I don't know if we've got that photograph again, or the group photograph. That's her right in the front with the short skirts.
She was very good in it.
She was very, very lovely singer as well.
Aye.
And of course, what happened to Dougal? Because Dougal was in the High Road.
Aye, he was,
He's
wasn't he?
disappeared. There's been so many big stars that have just
Oh,
disappeared.
mind, he's been able to retire on that clip that they show every once in a while on It'll Be All Right in the Night, when his Deerstalker came apart. You've never seen that?
No, I've
no,
not
you're
seen
looking
that
at me, but everybody out there will have seen it.
Right.
He's halfway through a scene, and the wee ribbon at the top of the Deerstalker comes apart, and the flaps come down over his ears, and the cameraman and all the rest of the actors all fall apart, and he's standing there looking, what are you laughing at? Because he hasn't noticed it. And every time that goes out, he gets about 500 quid in rupees.
Another one that's always repeated again, talking of Caroline Ashley, she's in the one where she falls in the mud.
In the mud.
In the wedding dress.
Yes, yes.
Was that real? I suppose it was real.
Well, it was real, but I've often thought you could actually make them up, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You could
and
make
a
£500
fortune.
a time.
That's nice.
Which would be good. So that's a bit about the High Road.
Yeah.
You and obviously going in for this wee brain operation, which you'll not be looking forward to. But what other things have you... I mean, where did you start off? I mean, obviously you're an Irish boy.
Well, I went to Australia when I was 20 on the assisted passage scheme, you know, because you £10 you got there. You know, on the way out there, I'm lying on the deck one day with a bikini-clad girl on either side of me, rubbing suntan oil into me. And I thought,
lovely.
even
lovely.
if Australia is a pits, I've got my £10 worth already. You know?
One of them wasn't her, was it?
No. We're not as good looking as you, my darling.
They can't get a bikini big enough for her.
Ah, shush, that's not fair.
Can't.
Though you do remind me of one of the whales I saw for one of the days in the Indian Ocean, but that's...
Sorry, Derek. Just patronise her. And so you went to
I went to Australia and I was hitchhiking around the place, and I picked up a paper one day and saw an ad for actors, and I thought, how can you tell an actor? It's not like being a bricklayer, you know, if somebody gives you a pile of bricks, you build a wall, it falls over. So you go along and say, I'm an actor, and you audition you. And lucky enough, I'd had a good drama teacher at school, and I'd been in all the school plays, so I knew one end of the stage from another. And I think they were desperate for actors. It wasn't sort of a butch enough occupation for a good, you know, Dickie Doy Aussie bloke, you know. It's only pufters do that sort of work, you know.
Yeah.
So I got a wee start there, and I've been doing it ever since. I actually started the same year as late, great Mark McManus. He got his first acting job in the same year in Sydney, and I got it in Perth in Western Australia. And we met up out there, and we both started work at STV in the same year.
Anyway, you've been a great guest in the show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Derek Lord,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Susie Wingbang will see you out. You need to sign her autograph book, Derek.
Right, darling.
Anyway, on you go.
Your
Lovely.
place or mine?
Any
you later.
place you like.
Bye then. What a carry on. Bye. Oh, she's a happy woman now. We're going to take a break. Back shortly.